Hey bookworms, and welcome back to Get Me a Library. Today I'm doing something a little bit different and I'm doing a bookshelf tour / bookcase tour, whatever you want to call it. And this is my bookcase and it's all done, and it took me quite a little while to actually do it myself and then start putting the books on. So here it is, and I've tried to have a look at different videos that people have done about how they do their bookcase tours and the best way to do it, and I kind of use a little bit of everyone's ideas and made my own. So this is my bookcase and let's show you what's on it. Here we have my Lemony Snicket collection. I do have number 1, but it's somewhere else, someone's borrowing it, so hopefully I will get that back soon and then I can complete my Lemony Snicket collection. They have the really cool covers. This is the Reptile Room, and it goes all the way along to the final one, which is called The End. I don't know if any of you have watched the film with Jim Carrey in it, and it's really good and really funny. And they also had the new TV series, which is up and running, and it seems to be that they're going to be making every single one of the books in the TV series. So obviously the first few are in the TV series. I think in the TV series it goes up to the Miserable Meal and that's it. But obviously there's more, so it looks as if it's the first 4 books in the first season. So hopefully it'll be then the next 4 books and then the next 4 books and the end. So that's my Lemony Snicket. And then have my Percy Jackson collection. I've only got the first 5 books of the Percy Jackson series. I know that there is other ones as well, but these are the ones that I'm actually interested in, although I will probably read those eventually one day, although I say that about every book which I like and I never end up reading them. So this is The Lightning and the Thief, and again that was a film, and also The Sea of Monsters. I did like the films and I do wish that they continued it, but I do understand that they weren't actually the best that they could have been. And then I have obviously The Titan's Curse, The Battle of the Labyrinth, and absolutely my favourite, The Last Olympian. Not because it's the end, but because there's this really cool battle scene where you see all the gods. I have blank ones at the moment to, well, fill up with books. This is my Frank Bedor collection. I do have some of the graphic novels, which I will show you when we get to the top. This is one of my favourite series that I've ever read. This is about Alice in Wonderland, but it's all based completely different. Frank Bedor went to a museum in London and he found these cards, these playing cards, and he did a little bit of research about them, and actually it explains the true story of Alice in Wonderland. And she was actually a princess, and she came over to this place, or where we are, through the Pool of Tears, where she met Lewis Carroll, and he wrote the book of Alice in Wonderland in a completely different way. So this is the first one, and then we have the next one, which is called Seeing Red, and finally the third one, which is called Arch Enemy. And although the first one is my favourite, I do really like this series, and I don't necessarily like one more than the other, and probably the first one only because it's the first one of the series, but I really enjoyed these books so much that I really want to read them again, and I have actually read them twice, and the print is really good as well to read. You can see how old they are, that I've had them for so long, and he really wanted to do a film about them. That's when the Tim Burton version of Alice in Wonderland came out, so they weren't able to do it because it would have been too close to that. But I really think this is a great series. If you haven't read this, then please do, because it's really good. Okay, across from here I have one of my other favourite series books that I've ever read. This is A Touch of Power series, Avery of Kazan, and this is by Maria V. Snyder, and she is one of the best authors ever. She's so lovely. She always replies to my emails and my Facebook messages to her, and she's just genuinely really nice, and I wish she had Instagram so I could follow her on there, but she doesn't, unfortunately. So this is my favourite series. The covers are beautiful as well. So this is the first one. This is A Touch of Power. I do have this on my Kindle as well. I read them paperback. I don't know what happened to the paperbacks. But obviously they disappeared, so I brought them on my Kindle, and then I realised that I really needed them paperback. So here they are, and they haven't been read yet. And this is the next one, A Scent of Magic, and again that is a beautiful cover. And finally the last one, A Taste of Darkness. I really love this series, so again, if you haven't read this one or this one, please try them because they're really good. Okay, I'm moving along to this side, and these are all of my BookBox Club cards that you get in their boxes. The only one that is missing is my Wizards one. I have no idea where that's gone, and I'm really annoyed because in March I would have been with Bookbox Club a year and I really wanted to show you all of them, but obviously I can't find it. I will still look for it, but I can't find it. Okay, and these are just a collection of books that just sort of don't have a place necessarily to go, but I wanted to put them on my bookshelf, otherwise, well, where are they going to go? So I have a Calm Colouring book, which is from Bookbox Club, one of their boxes. I have a Never Stop Dreaming with a beautiful flamingo on it. I have Learn Greek, which is not going very well. I have some little mini sample books, which you get from Bookbox Club as well. I have my Alice in Wonderland book here, which is a tiny small version, and it has got the images in there as well, and that is a lovely, very lovely book. I then have another one which you get from Bookbox Club, which talks about different authors that are coming up as well, some games. This book I've had since I was a child, The Little Princess. I don't know if you've ever read it, it's such a good book. I then have another Alice in Wonderland version here, another Alice in Wonderland which is about me because I am the star, and another one from Bookbox Club as well. And going up, I now here have my Dorothy Must Die series, which I haven't read yet, which I do really, really want to read. It's supposed to be really, really good. I've heard lots of good reviews about it. I just need to find the time to read the whole series. So, if we can move my flamingo. I have the Dorothy Must Die stories, which is about all the characters within there. I think it's their version, and this is all by Danielle Page. I then have Stories Volume number 2, Stories Volume number 3 as well. This is the cover of the first one. This is Dorothy Must Die, and then there is The Wicked Will Rise. Then there is the Yellow Brick War, and finally The End of Oz. Oopsie. So this is my series that I really, really want to read. I don't know, I do like The Wizard of Oz. I think I like the story and the places more than the actual film adaptation. I haven't actually read the book, which is bad. I should read it. So I'm hoping that this one is really good. I mean, like I said, I've heard loads of really good reviews about it, so I'm really hoping that it is. So that's my Dorothy Must Die collection with a pink flamingo. And across is my A Court of Thorns and Roses shrine. So I have this beautiful mat which I got from one of my Bookbox Club boxes. I think that was the Wizards at War one actually. I have my bell because The Court of Thorns and Roses is a slight retelling of Beauty and the Beast, and obviously my little bell up here as well. So along with the books, so I have my Court of Thorns and Roses colouring book, which I haven't touched. I do want to touch, but I know for a fact that it won't look as good as what other people could do, so I've kind of left it blank. If you haven't actually got that, then you should get it because it's really, really cool. I mean, the pictures are beautiful and amazing, and like I said, I really wish that I could do them, but I can't. Okay, so here is A Court of Thorns and Roses. Again, beautiful covers. The next one is A Court of Wings and Ruin. And finally, we have A Court of Mist and Fury. And the next book is coming out in May, and that is called A Court of Frost and Starlight. And I'm so excited for that one. Like, I need to reread these books again before May so that I can remember every single detail. And also, it's great to reread a book that is really cool anyway. So yeah, that's my Beauty and the Beast / Court of Thorns and Roses shelf. Okay, and this is just a Alice in Wonderland card with the flamingo and my jewellery box. There's no books onto this shelf, and it looks kind of cool when you see the whole shelf. Going up, I have my Harry Potter book collection. So I have the, so heavy, Prisoner of Azkaban Harry Potter book, which I got for Christmas. And I haven't read it yet, although I have read Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, obviously, but it's a illustrated version, so it's all pictures and images in it. This is the only one I have, and to be honest, this is probably the only one I do want because this is my favourite book in the whole series. I mean, there are other ones that I do like as well, like I do love Order of the Phoenix. I love that one as a film because I love Dolores Umbridge, even though she's the worst. But this is my favourite book, so I'm glad that out of all the books that I have of an illustrated version, I have my favourite book with the Night Bus. And I actually watched a video about the Super Carlin brothers that they did about the Night Bus and why it's called the Night Bus. And it's more supposed to be a bus that will come to you whenever you need it, and it's obviously a Night Bus with a K instead of an N, and it was quite a cool video, so check that out. I then have my books here. This is a newer version. because, well, there's a long story as to why I didn't have these ones, but here is the one that I brought recently. So these ones are untouched as well, other than me getting them out and having a look at them. But this is the one that I've read so much of, so I will show you these in a second. I actually finished this whole series in a week. When I was on holiday, which I probably should have been enjoying my holiday, but I finished the whole book series in a week. So basically it was like a book a day, so I did really, really well with that. I then have my Harry Potter, The Making of Harry Potter, which is the Warner Bros. Studios, which I went to in London with my mum. And this is my Harry Potter film wizardry. So it's all about the films, how they made it, like all the animations, the characters, a little bit about like Slytherin house, the other houses, Gryffindor, just all the little things about the movies and the book inside. So that's cool as well. This is my complete collection by J.K. Rowling, and you can see that I have literally broken the specs of the book from reading them so much. But yeah, so these are my favourite ones because they have a lot of history, because you can see that. So yeah, that's my Harry Potter book side collection, so that's done. And across we have my greens and blues selection. So here I have a candle which I got from my box club, and that is called the Heathcliff. I then have my Ariel, which is green and blue, and it goes with the theme. And I have I Am a Badass, I Recognise That You Are a Badass Too. This is by Cassandra Clare, but this is from my box club as well, which I got. So most of the books on here are to be read. I haven't read Hunted by Megan Spooner yet, which I got from the Books Club, and I really, really want to read that, but for some reason I just haven't come around to doing that yet. It seems to be that every time I get a new book, which is really good, I kind of forget about the other ones. This is The Memory Trees, and this is by Callie Wallace. I've read this, and I did a review recently, and it was such a good book. It made you think about family history and about different lives and stuff, and that was really, really good. This is one that I have to read. It's a to be read. It's a Deadly Summer book, and it's by Denise Grover Squonk, and it's and it's supposed to be really, really good, so I'm going to try that out. And this has been on my to be read list since it came out, to be pre-ordered, and this is called Renegades, and that is by Marissa Mayer, and I'm really looking forward to reading that, but again, I haven't got around to doing it yet. A Jigsaw of Fire and Stars I got from my Book Box Club. I also did a review on that. I don't know, I wasn't too keen on it. It was a good book, but there was a lot of it that I didn't particularly like from it. The next one is The Shock of the Fall, and that is by Nathan Flyer, and that's to be read as well. City of Halves, I've read that, and that's by Lucy Inglis, and that is really good as well. The Witchfinder is on my to be read list, and that's by Ruth Warburton. I told you this whole bookshelf was going to be to be read. And then the next one is The Nightingale, and that is by Kirsten Hanna. Becca Fitzpatrick, who did the Hush Hush series, which is really good. This is called Dangerous Lies, and I really need to read that. Carnival, I don't know how to say it, and that's by Stephanie Garber. The Disappearances, and that is by Emily Barr Murphy, and that's a really good book. And finally, The Lost Boy by Christina Henry, and again, that's a really good book. I have reviews on these two books up as well, so check those out. And that is my blue one. And moving across to the pink shelf. There's not very many books that are pink. It's not really my favourite colour, but that doesn't stop me buying books that are pink. It's just these are the books that I have. So again, I have reviews on these books. Obviously not that one, but this is my Alice in Wonderland. I'll show you that in a second. I have a candle on here from Book Box Club as well. That's called Fangirling. I got this actually last month. Obviously a shower, and this is really cool as well. I haven't been to Los Angeles, it was a present. But yeah, it looks cool, my pink shelf. So Because You Love to Hate Me, that's by 13 various authors. Again, I have mixed feelings about this one. I did like the idea of the story, but it wasn't actually my favourite. There was a lot of stories in it I didn't like. Sweet Freak, I have a review on that, and that is really, really good. That's by Sophie Mackenzie. And obviously the Alice in Wonderland book as well. And that is obviously by Lewis Carroll. So that is my pink one. Going up, I have my white shelf. This is all my bookmarks. I will show you that in a second. Just some little knickknacks that have nowhere to go, so they go onto my little keep calm and carry on tea tray thing. Okay, so this is on my to be read list, and this is by Emily Barr, and this is called The Truth and Lies of Ella Black, 40 Days Till She Dies. That seems a really good book, so I can't wait to read that. Oh, I have 13 Minutes, and that is by Sarah Pinberg, and that's really good. I have a review on that as well. And also One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus, and that is a really, really good book as well. Again, these This is from my Bookbox Club. And then I've heard about this, The Rivers of London, and this is by Ben Aronovich. And I really, really hope that this is good because it sounds really good. And I mistakenly bought the first book of the series and the last book of the series and not the ones in between, but they're quite expensive altogether. So I kind of thought, well, at least I've got the first story and the last story. But I don't think they go on to each other. I think they're just individual stories, so I'm hoping so anyway. So that's my white shelf. I will now show you my bookmarks. Okay, so I have a book light in there, which is cool. And I have this, which I've had since I was very young, and it was this museum at the Raggedy School, and that was in London. I have my Alice in Wonderland ones, which I think I got from a Bookbox Club box, actually. This is from a Bookbox Club. This is Sleep is Good, He Said, Our Books Are Better, and that's by George R.R. Martin. I then have my A Touch of A Shiver of Snow and Sky bookmark, which I'll show you the book when we get to that section. I then have this one here, again from Bookbox Club. Most of my bookmarks are from there, actually. It's actually really hard to do a bookshelf tour when you don't have books that fit up the shelf. And moving across, this is a Christmas present, and it's great. It's got my name on it, and it's a Harry Potter book. So that's even cooler than it actually is saying my name. It's actually a Harry Potter book. And obviously I have Professor Snape. Moving across to my yellow shelf with my Luke Gilmore Girls mug and my Lemur in his beautiful glass dish thing. I forgot what they're called. But yeah, that's my yellow shelf. So let's show you the books. Okay, so every one of these books is a to be read book. So any of my to be read books, please let me know down below if you actually think they're good books or not. So this is called Bad Girls with Perfect Faces. That's by Lynn Garten. The Girl with All the Gifts. This is actually a series, I think, or a film on Netflix, I'm not sure. This is by M.R. Carey. The Luckiest Girl in the World, and that's by Jessica Knoll. My mum's read this and she said it was really good, so she gave it to me to read. So hopefully that'll be good. And finally, Lies We Tell Ourselves by Robin Tallon. So that's my yellow shelf. Okay, and going up, my red and slightly orangey shelf with my Ariel. So The Red Queen, I have a review on that. That's really good. That's by Christina Henry again. This is called Elizabeth is Missing. This is by Emma Healy, again, to be read. I think this shelf is to be read as well, except one book. Tangleweed and Brine by Deirdre Sullivan. Again, that's a to be read book. And I saw this on Waterstones, and it's so beautiful. The Mermaid and Mrs. Hancock. This is by Imogen Hermes Gawa. And look at how beautiful this cover is. Like, oh my god, it's so nice. So it can go on my blue shelf as well. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this book. And finally, I have Spellslinger by Sebastian de Castell, and that is a book that I have read and I've done a review, and I'm currently reading the next book at the moment. Okay, then my purple and slightly blue shelf. I have the Pocket Daring Book for Girls. Read that really weird. I have Waking in Time. That was my first book that I got from Bookbox Club, and that is by Andrew Stanton. And I haven't done a review about that actually. I should do, and that's a really, 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 really good book. One Christmas Kiss in Nottingham Hill. This is by Mandy Bagot. This is not my book at all. This is something that I don't really read at all, but I got it in a subscription for Christmas, and it went with the theme. But it's not really my type of book, so I may not give it a go. But it's on here. Who Runs the World? This is Virginia Bergin, and this looks really good. I haven't read it. I really need to, and I really want to, but I haven't. Magical Worlds of Harry Potter. I got this. I actually won it in a competition when I was at school, and this is really, really good as well. So that should really go in the Harry Potter collection, but it just looked really good up here. And The Undercover Princess by Connie Glenn, and I need to read that as well. It's a to be read. Okay, and my black kind of covers that have got different colours on them with a Indian style elephant. Okay, so a lot of these books I have read. So I've read all of these books. I haven't read this one. I haven't read this one. Or these three. But the rest I have read. And I do have reviews for most of them. I have a review for The Secret Fire, Secret City, Fated, A Shiver of Snow and Sky. I have Wonder Woman Warbringer, Alice as well. These ones are actually on my reviews, so check them out. So The Secret Fire, again, it's a cool cover. Quite a lot of my books have cool covers, I think. The Secret City, and these are by CJ Daughtry and Karina Rosenfield. This is Fated, and this is by Sarah Alderson. Shiver of Snow and Sky by Lisa Luduki. I don't know how to say it, I'm sorry, I'm going to try. I have Wonder Woman Warbringer, and that is by Leah Barbadgo. Alice by Christine Henry, which is the first book in the series, and then the next one is Red Queen. Black Ice by Becca Fitzpatrick, again she wrote Hush Hush, great series. Fire Spell by Chloe Neal, and that's a really good one as well. A Dark Touch Shadows series by Amy Meredith, I haven't read that. Killing Kate by Alex Lake, that's a really good book. This is something that I've had when I was younger as well, The Kingdom of Gems, it's actually signed, so that's probably why I've kept it. The Bear and the Nightingale, and that is by Catherine Arden, again with The Girl in the Tower. And finally, Batman Nightwalk, and that is by Marie Lu, and that goes with the Wonder Woman series, so I can't wait to review that. Again, this is my DC kind of Marvel collection, and it's got my Batman car, the Batman Vault, the Joker book, DC Comics Encyclopedia, and Marvel. And then across, I won't really show you all of these comics because this is more about books, but yeah, I have my Harley Quinn and my Joker and lots of different comics, and these are the ones I was talking about before with the Frank Bedore collection. So yeah, these are mainly mainly Batman ones, but there are a few others like Justice League. So that's that. And finally, before we go on to my Kindle, this is mainly like my mythology, like Stephen Fry Mythos, a few Doctor Who books, a Star Wars one, and an old fairy one, and Tinkerbell. So that's it for my bookshelf. And there's two other books here which are on my to be read list. Shadow Black, which is what I'm reading now, by Sebastian de Cassel, and then there's The Fandom by Anna Day, and I'm excited to read those two and do a review as well. Finish in the series, so I have read the Gatekeeper's Daughter series by Eve Poehler, but I think there's one book and a half that I haven't read. I started to get a little bit bored of the series, so that's why I have to finish them, but the whole series is there. Becoming Alpha, I've read the first one, I think I've read the second one, but I haven't read any more, but it was a really good book. But again, another book comes along and then you forget about that book, so that's another lot of books that I have to read as well, and the new one just came out, so I need to read it soon. I have my Harry Potter collection as well, which is Fantastic Beasts. A few of these like samples I want to read, but they're mainly just about Harry Potter. I need to finish this. I didn't particularly like it, so I don't know when I'll finish it. And that is by M.L. Adams. These are some of the books that I've read. So I've got Hunting Lila, Losing Lila, and Taunting Lila, and that is by Sarah Alderson. I then have the What I Couldn't Tell You, and that's by Faye Bird. I've done a review on that. Invidious by Becca Scardoni, and Inception by her as well. Hex Hall series, I've read that. That's a really good book. That is by Rachel Hawkins. The Alice in Zombieland series as well by Glenna Showalter. This is one of my favourite book series. This is a series of unfortunate fairy tales, and that is by Chandra Han, and I really like that. That is really good. The Ever True book, and that is by Bronte Ashton, and that's a good series, but I couldn't get into the last book. The Night School series is another really good one, and that is by CJ Daughtry, and I think that's like 6 books. That's really good. The Splintered series as well by A.G. Howard, and they're on here as well. This is a really good one. Outcast by Andrea Kress, that's really good. The Queen of Hearts series by Colleen Oakes, another one, really good. Heartless by Marissa Mayer, and the Hush Hush series I was talking to you about by Becca Fitzpatrick. A Sister Stranger by Louise Stone, that was really good as well. Between, although it says sample, I have actually read it. The Marissa Mayer Cinder story, Lunar Chronicles. Another one's like Born Wicked, just Spotsworth, these are good books as well. So yeah, they're just some of the ones that I have read. I've got loads that I have to be read, so I'll just scroll through them because it'd be too long to explain every single one of them. But yeah, these are some of the books. Again, if it's got a sample, I really don't want to read them, but yeah, there's so many. Like literally, there's probably more on here than there is actually on my bookshelf. But yeah, so that's the end of the video. So I hope you enjoyed my bookshelf tour and Kindle tour, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.